For every time you've heard this slogan repeated across the trading world, you got to smash the like button because we're going to prove it wrong in this video. It's impossible to time the markets. Well, imagine that you could, with ease, place each one of these colored arrows on the Kaspa chart. And notice, right after these orange arrows are in place, Kaspa made its most dynamic upward moves of all. Significantly, the October 29th arrow, after we noted its placement, we gave the 10x leverage trade call out for Kaspa on November 2nd. In fact, putting these arrows on the Kaspa chart, anybody can do it. And there's one that's very close on the horizon that has all the makings of being a supernova orange arrow. We're going to get into the details of that as the market has been starting to rally as we approach this crucial date. This bullish news is based around the Ethereum ETFs. The SEC needs to file its ruling on May 23rd, May 24th, and May 30th for ARK Invest and some of their competitors on whether they're going to allow them to do the Ethereum ETF. Now, previously, everybody thought that the SEC would just brush these applications aside or delay them for a later date. Because of political pressure and the current administration's want for the stock market and all markets to be on the up and up as voters enter into the polls, it's projected that the SEC has a 75% likelihood of approving these ETFs. Jumping over to the Bitcoin chart, we're looking at exact replicas of the same arrows we're going to be examining on Kaspa's chart. Each one of these placed at an exact date to represent the FOMC meeting. And we start to notice a clear pattern in Powell's balancing act between preventing a housing market crisis, a run on the banks, and keeping inflation, this out of control beast, as tame as possible. As we can note, every orange colored arrow represents an upward or bullish FOMC meeting. Every purple colored arrow represents sideways, downward, crabbish action after an FOMC meeting. And it's very clear that there's a balancing act taking place. Starting back here, bearish downward into two upward. Then we had a massive cool off before this supernova event back here on the 31st of January. Just recently, we've had sideways slash cool off action as the previous all-time high was established 7 days before the March 20th prior meeting. This is playing into the pattern of Powell's balancing act on how he handles monetary policy, likely to hint at future rate cuts in July. In the scenario where he does that, Kaspa has the KRC20 release scheduled for the same time frame. So the market makers can start to scoop up stable coins and invest in the Kaspa ecosystem. Jumping over to Kaspa, an altcoin, we can see how much more drastically each one of these FOMC meetings affects the price action. Again, with the same purple and orange price scheme, we see sideways action twice in a row until the October 31st meeting. Now remember, on November 2nd, we gave the 10x leverage trade call out for Kaspa 48 hours before this massive rocket to the upside. And yes, the FOMC meeting happening 72 hours before we made that call out had a lot to do with timing the market. Just recently, another meeting on December 13th cools off. January 31st, rockets back to the upside. The prior meeting, March 20th, we had a nice cool off. Now we're approaching the June 15th meeting. Keeping the balancing act in order, Powell needing to feed the beast to prevent housing market crashes, runs on the bank. The economy must be stimulated. And now it's his chance to step up, make a dovish speech from the podium, and Kaspa team is already poised to take full advantage of this. These FOMC meetings and the monetary policy that coincides with them is hands down the most important thing that you can comprehend in all of crypto. It's also simultaneously the most undercovered, under-talked about, and undervalued aspect of all of crypto. Another great example of this, go to any YouTuber right now, your favorite YouTuber, the guy who you think is really good. Go 365 days back on their channel to April and May of 2023. Every major YouTuber, thus every YouTuber, was loading the bags in altcoin. They were all saying, it's altcoin season right now. Here's a list of what I'm buying. Meanwhile, Powell goes up to the podium and he increases interest rates by a quarter point. 5 days after that FOMC meeting, there's a fake out to the upside. Social media is going wild. Our channel, we had just started it 90 days ago. We had like 600 subscribers. We went all in, $12,500 short with 5x leverage on AVAX. The whole comment section, this is how I know it's not understood, it's not comprehended, was filled with, well, thanks for the short squeeze. You just lost your whole thing. Like, sell your car so you can keep making videos. Your content was great. Fast forward 90 days later, the entire market takes a massive nosedive. Not one content creator ever said Powell's name. Nobody talked about monetary policy and interest rates. It's literally the number one driving force. The Kaspa team knows this. That's why they're running the KRC parallel with the FOMC meetings, exactly like we predicted. In the stock market, same things. They had the casinos boarded up with plywood. The exact day they started nailing the windows shut, Powell turned the money printer on. Guess what every single casino stock did? Yeah. Pay attention to Powell, study the monetary policy. A new artificial intelligence listing with Polychain Capital as the lead VC. One of the strongest points about this crypto is how bullish of an early chart it's already forming. These rounded bottom formations really tell a story in the seed funding VCs taking early profit, but a foundation of buyers underneath supporting price action, projecting into a bullish nature. Of course, alongside paying attention to the FOMC meetings, the majority of traders out there don't study technical analysis. Later this week, we'll get into more details on Kaspa, as today it just broke out of the gravitational field. A massive step forward on the Kaspa chart. Thanks for checking out this video. We'll catch you on the next one.